So first of all, really obvious, your values and your goals should be aligned. They should not be adversarial. They shouldn't be counter to each other. And if you think about what your goals are, your goals should be set up in a way that they support your values and vice versa. That's just the way it is. So I'm not sure where this is going to be an issue. If you're setting up goals that are contrary to your values, you got some issues. Now, I guess if you had the goal of winning the blue belt jiu-jitsu championships, and in order to win, you cheated, like you claimed someone was reaping your leg and you said, oh, you tap and you get the guy to qualified and you win, that could be an example, right? Now, do I support that? No. That's wrong. You going against the values of martial arts to do that. So you didn't win anything and you didn't achieve your goal because you weren't actually the best. So I say no on that one. Another one, let's say you wanted to make a certain level of profit at your company. So you cheated a little bit on the quality of the manufacturing and you sold items that weren't quite reliable. Do I support that? No, right? And why? Let me tell you why. Because your goal is not even aligned with your goal itself. Because when you start making substandard manufactured items, what's going to happen in the long run? People are going to say, hey, we don't like these. Yeah. We're not going to buy them anymore. So you didn't win. You might have won in the short term, but you didn't win. And again, you're going against your value. You should have values that you don't want to, take profit over making good product. And again, in the long run, that value is going to cost you, right? People aren't going to want to buy your product anymore. Okay, another one I could think of, like, let's say your goal was to lose weight or to gain weight or whatever, some kind of positive physical change. And so you're working hard, but then you decide you're going to jump on the steroids, right? You're going to jump on steroids. And you get that goal, right? Because steroids are a huge advantage. But again, I say no, because if you think about what your goal is, like, why are you trying to gain weight or lose weight? Your goal is to be healthy, right? That's your value, is you value your health. Mm-hmm. And so when the minute you start doing something that's counter to your health, well, that's not helping your long-term. Your value is not aligned with your goal, and your goal is not aligned with your value. So get them lined up. Mm-hmm. So now, might we at some point compromise our values to reach a goal? I think that changes the answer a little bit, right? We might compromise. Remember that question that we had about the people that are snakes and how do you work with them? Should you work with someone that's dishonest or backstabbing, but they're a cog in the machine of your team? Mm-hmm. And your values, right? They might be to call the person out and say, hey, you're a backstabber and I don't want to work with you. That might be what your values tell you to do. But your goal, and if you do that, first of all, you don't progress. Your team doesn't work better together. They work worse together. And so in the long run, you don't win because you stuck hardcore with your values. And by the way, if you stick with if you bend your values, you compromise your values a little bit to get through this transitional period, now you get promoted. Now you get in a situation where you can fire that person that's a backstabber. Mm-hmm. So you have to compromise your values as a person a little bit. And there's the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So you might compromise your values short term, working somebody that you're not totally aligned with value-wise. And again, if you're going to get the long-term strategic goal, well then maybe it's worth it, because it's going to put you in a position where you can then hold your values better from a senior position or from a more powerful position. So you might compromise them a little bit. Again, these are small compromises, and you should have things. Of course, we got things values that you're never going to compromise on, right? Hitting a girl,
yeah,
right? You should never hit a girl, right? Never hit a woman. Now, with that being said, if there's a woman that's about to do something truly evil, kill a child or some kind of a terrorist act, and the only thing you have that you can stop it is to hit her, well, guess what? She's getting hit. You know what I mean? So even then, Your value of never hitting a girl can be compromised momentarily while you stop a child from being murdered or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we hold a value if we always want to tell the truth. But if you had for an extreme example, if you had some kind of a state secret and you got captured, well, of course you might lie about that. And there's we could get into a whole like white lie discussion on stuff. Like when your wife asks you, how's the chicken? And you want to tell her it's the most dry and charcoal tasting item that you've ever put in your mouth. That's not going to help you long term.
No.
So I might compromise my values of being truthful and tell her, it's pretty good. Can I have some more ketchup over here? Can I get some more barbecue sauce on this?
Ketchup on chicken.
And I'm going to go grab some more water. Would you like some? So I might compromise my values a little bit there. So I guess what I'm saying is, and people, this is the thing, people probably what they think of my persona, because people will think, oh, Jocko's going to be this uncompromising, never settle, allow no slack kind of person, right? That's what people want to see me as. But the reality is reason, right? Reason and thought can override values for the right reasons. And that's why we can think. That's why we can think. And there's actually times when holding your values goes against your values. So if you always back up your friends, right? You always back up your friends, but then your friend does something that's totally immoral and is against your values. Well, then you can't hold the value of backing up your friends, because guess what? They did something immoral. They did something that was wrong. And so if you held your values, you'd be not holding your values. That's the dichotomy there, right? That's the dichotomy. And the additional dichotomy is you hold to your values, right? You hold to those basic principles that you believe in, but at the same time, you've got to apply logic and reason to them to make sure that they are supporting your long-term goal and your long-term values. Because you don't want to make a hard stand on something that costs you everything, where now in the future you can no longer manipulate any more situations. That's one of the things that makes leadership and life hard, is that it isn't black and white. It isn't black and white, it's gray. And so our decisions on these very things, these are the challenges of leadership. And there's no way, right or wrong answer of saying if it's right or wrong to violate your values to achieve a goal. That initial question, there's too many variables in that. There's too many variables. But start with this part that I started the whole answer with. Align your values with your goal. That's where you start, and then you use reason and logic and thought to determine your actions based on the situation weighed against your values. You have to think.
phải không em? Chuyện tình yêu đâu biết được ngày mai. Rồi hôm nay em bên ai, nhìn em khóc trên vai. Thôi hãy quên đi, về với em hiện tại. Anh còn nhớ về ngày ta còn đắm say. Anh vẫn nhớ về người bên anh khi ấy. Em đã quên rồi câu hứa yêu trọn đời. Em bỏ anh rồi, em vui tình nhân mới. Cuộc tình này đã khác rồi, mình kết thúc em ơi. Chuyện tình này đã chết rồi, còn tiếc chi em ơi. Một lần em gian dối rồi, còn cố yêu không vui. Một lần em đã phản bội, làm vết thương chưa nguôi. Thì anh vẫn sẽ mỉm cười, người khác làm em vui. Còn anh xin kết thúc và giữ chút đau thương thôi. Ở nơi xa luôn nhớ về một mối duyên tình phai. Đường em đi nay khác rồi, còn mỗi anh đơn côi. Đường em đi nay đã khác rồi, còn riêng anh mãi đứng đơn côi. Anh còn nhớ về ngày ta còn đắm say. Anh vẫn nhớ về người bên anh khi ấy. Em đã quên rồi câu hứa yêu trọn đời. Em bỏ anh rồi, em vui tình nhân mới. Cuộc tình này đã khác rồi, mình kết thúc em ơi. Chuyện tình này đã chết rồi, còn tiếc chi em ơi. Một lần em gian dối rồi, còn cố yêu không vui. Một lần em đã phản bội, làm vết thương chưa nguôi. Thì anh vẫn sẽ mỉm cười, người khác làm em vui. Còn anh xin kết thúc và giữ chút đau thương thôi. Ở nơi xa luôn nhớ về một mối duyên tình phai. Đường em đi nay khác rồi, còn mỗi anh đơn côi. Cuộc tình này đã khác rồi, mình kết thúc em ơi. Chuyện tình này đã chết rồi, còn tiếc chi em ơi. Một lần em gian dối rồi, còn cố yêu đâu vui. Một lần em đã phản bội, làm vết thương chưa nguôi. Thì anh vẫn sẽ mỉm cười, người khác làm em vui. Còn anh xin kết thúc và giữ chút đau thương thôi. Ở nơi xa luôn nhớ về một mối duyên tình phai. rồi, còn mỗi xin anh thôi.